Dear colleagues, we continue our working day, and the topic of the next press briefing is first volunteer Agit-train started work in the east of Ukraine. Our speakers are Mykola Bondar, head of all-Ukrainian NGO KoloYouMedia, and also Archbishop Melnyk, first deputy head of the Synodal department of the military clergy of Ukraine. Kievan Patriarchate. And Oksana Ernets, People's Deputy of Ukraine, Yaroslav Dubnievich, Transport Department of Lena Finadyan, Department of the Ministry of Education of Ukraine, of Youth and Sports, and also by Skype we'll have Sashko Lirnyk, storyteller, art director of the project, and Mr. Vershagara, the director of Center of Emergency Help and Medicine of Catastrophes of Kiev. Dear guests, welcome on stage. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, audience and journalists and those who are present here. We gathered you here because we got an idea to create an Agit-train to the east, and this project is a test project, pilot project, and this project will continue because we should work not only with the East and not only pay attention to the East. When we spoke about it, we got several NGOs, volunteer organizations, and some civil servants, officials, and it happened that we know each other and everyone contribute, and someone in his office and others, they are volunteers, and for them it was understandable that for me, I also understand why these efforts were supported, and today no one believed that that was possible, but we are near the finish line, and we can speak about Agit-train as a project that is in its final stage. Because a lot is spoken about projects, but they are not realized. I won't take much time. I want to thank people who are present here, who are standing behind me, because this Agit-train happened 100% due to their support and due to their work, and they work as volunteers, and we should support our volunteers in the East, and some of them, they will be speaking with us by Skype. They are going to speak about the expectations of this project, and we also thank the Department of Education, of the Ministry of Education for the work, because many projects that are all Ukrainian projects, they were started in Kiev. That's why I thank you for your attention, and I will be ready to answer your questions a little bit further. This was Mr. Bondar, head of all-Ukrainian NGO KoloYouMedia, and Mr. Melnyk is given the floor, first deputy head of the Synodal department of the military clergy of Ukraine, Kievan Patriarchate office. So we shouldn't speak about the need of this project because we all understand the situation in the east of Ukraine. And taking into account the situation, the church took decision to help our army, to help civilians in the east, and we send about 50 to 70 military clergymen that work among servicemen and locals. So when volunteers proposed this project, we supported it completely. That's why today I would like to say that the main component, one of the components of this Agit-train, is spiritual help, to provide spiritual help to servicemen and to civilians. So there will be a military chaplain there, and there will be some military chaplains that will be in the places and in military units in order to carry out this work together and to bring not only patriotism but also spirituality and peace to servicemen and population. We would like to thank everyone because when we started this project, they planned to conduct it 2 years ago and 1 year ago, and today, due to the deputies and together with the Committee of Transport and the Ministry of Infrastructure and the Ukrainian Railway and volunteers in church, we have the opportunity to see this project, and we believe that it will be effective. And thank you very much for your attention. And Oksana Yaronets, People's Deputies, is given the floor. So the first meeting was conducted in the Ministry of Transport. We were welcomed there, not in the offices, but in the corridor. It was a call from Mr. Melnyk, and he said that they should be supported. And during 2 years, we tried to create this project. We should address the ministries. Everything was supported, but they said that they had problems, and we addressed to the head of the Transport Committee, Mr. Dubnevich, and he said that he is ready to meet the volunteers, and we proposed the ideas, and people were ready to support us. And people who created obstacles, there are no such people now. And I believe that this project is necessary. We go to the east, we know the situation there, and we want to do things that haven't been done for 25 years there. So this Agit-train is full on, and this is a serious case, and you can just feel it physically. And we want to propose that when this train goes there, there will be some gifts for children and some pisankas, some Easter eggs. So we should start this work. We should change and unite the country. And I believe that these books that we are going to bring to Severodonetsk University and other institutions, by this train we will do it faster. And we thank you for carrying out this work, that you motivate and inspire. And we should do the right things that we dream about. And you want to do something positive for Ukraine. And thank you for the opportunity to be in such a wonderful team. I give the floor to Mr. Dubnevich, head of Transport Committee. Today, we inform the society on the great action that starts now, and the Agit-train will go for the first time, as it was said before. This project was difficult to create, and this idea was implemented, but together, by joint effort, it is grown into a wonderful thing. Due to the help of volunteers and Ukrainian people, we defended our fatherland and our servicemen. They defend us in the east against the militants, and now it is very important to start the work in this sphere, this outreach project, and we should inform people. We should inform those people, those Ukrainians, that were disillusioned and they were lacking the information because it was hidden. We should inform them about the what Ukrainian society wants, what Ukrainian government wants, and what we should do together as a state, because we should be united. In such a case, we will be strong. And for me personally, and with the Lviv deputies and the representatives of civil society, we always support good initiatives. And these are the bringing children from the east to the west for Easter. And we also work on the issue of Easter holidays. Children will come from the east, and we will do this, and we should do this, of course. And I would like to stress that this outreach train, we should do everything possible that it not only one pilot project, it should be a regular project. And it's not just presentation or information course for officials from the Ministry of or Railway. We should make a joint effort, and we as people's deputies, we should introduce proper changes into the legislation as to the control that this train should be regular and should provide outreach campaign in the eastern regions of Ukraine. So this is the next stage of our joint effort. So we wish them good luck, and they should go there with the first task, and this train, it should be regular, scheduled.
Leonid Fedanyan, Director, Department, Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine, Sports and Youth. Good afternoon, dear participants. The Kyiv State Administration, like nobody else, understand that the revolution doesn't end. The revolution of dignity cannot can be completed overnight. So we are talking about the major event which Ukraine faces today, being living through the time of aggression and warfare. Volunteer organization help a lot to our education establishments. We've been working with this the above-mentioned organization for 2 years now. This kind of train is not just kind of the mechanism or a machine. This is our driving force, because the people who are going to be there, they will learn how to help their near and dear in the dire straits time, how to support anybody else. And most important, they learn how to love their country, how to become patriots or to be patriots, and to understand that we are living through very hard times today, and only them can change the available situation, everything in their hands. And Ukraine will have the bright future only when we become united, inseparable, and when we end the war on our soil. Most important, we cannot, let's say, sit in our hands today, and this will be. We can be unable to do that only with the help of volunteers, the people who work today on a daily basis with us. I mean, who took care of different movements to help the children in the eastern parts of Ukraine and the Kyivites. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you. Also, we have some of our colleagues on the Skype. Sashko Lirnyk, who is the fairy tale storyteller, and his colleagues. Do you copy us? Yes, you have about 3 minutes at your disposal. You have the floor now. Without any pathos, I would like to say a few words. I myself, from the very first days, I visited the eastern parts of Ukraine, and not only I visited our servicemen as an actor or the performer, also we meet with children in Kramatorsk, Drushkivka, Slavyansk, Volnovakha. Over those years, we can feel strongly the lack of Ukrainian culture, and the children themselves actually want to be close to those. And I was surprised to see the number of people, of children who were coming to us. And I was I decide to do everything possible. Everything is associated with a lack of money, and we do that free of charge, of course, and do our performances. So I jumped at this idea because in this environment of musicians and performers, I approached many of those of my colleagues, and there are a lot of people who would like to join us. Almost every one of them would like to join this kind of movement, and they have to select. First of all, I select those who already have some experience in going to those parts, and then I'm going to involve other people as well. And we have to stage the performances before the local residents, and we are going to stage performances for our servicemen, for our fighters. And I was really pleasantly surprised. I thought previously that I would have to try and persuade somebody. No, in a couple of days from now, I will have the complete list, including 50 or 60 different groups of people or individual performers. We would like to show the different, let's say, multi-faceted culture of Ukraine. It's very important not just to go there and back. It must become a kind of continuous effort because we can win the war only in those places we have the Ukrainian language or Ukrainian culture. Where there is none of that, we can only lose. We do not have a lot of money. We have only our creative works or creative efforts or performance which you can actually present to those people, or even to involve those people who do not know anything about Ukraine. They do not have any TV broadcast and radio broadcast, and sometimes this kind of the eye-opening performance for them, and we try to involve them to this kind of united Ukraine, which today unfortunately is separated territorially, and you are talking about the world outlook. Ukraine hasn't done anything for this information space to become Ukrainian, wanted to protect us, and we can do something about that. And through volunteer efforts, and we have this very powerful force as compared to any kind of TV or radio broadcasting. And we have to prove that we are not enemies, we are one and the same nation. But those are the words, we have to turn them into deeds. Thank you, Sashko. We also have Irina Sidorenko, volunteer from Kramatorsk, Kramatorsk Bees group. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. You have about 3 minutes at your disposal. Once again, good afternoon, the Kramatorsk volunteer movement, Kramatorsk Bees. We do appreciate the organizers for this wonderful project. We definitely are going to be involved. We are waiting to become directly involved. We prepare a presentation over the book of our patriotic-minded authors. Then the festival of the Ukrainian fairy tale Barvinak. So any questions? Maybe your questions will be in the end of our briefing. So please wait. I can see that a lot of people are standing behind you. Could you please introduce, and I would like to welcome everybody. Maybe you can introduce your colleagues, your friends. Maybe they will have to add something. Our association includes 4 different public organizations, volunteer groups, and 4 initiative groups. So there are quite a lot of us. And next to me here, you can see IDPs, heads of different groups. We have deputy manager Yulia Gornina. Maybe she can add something. Just a few words, Yulia. I represent the youth here. Our major task, you, you, I, I try whenever we can, to take care of the patriotic education of our people. Our organization is actively is involved in the patriotic movement, and we work all the time, so there is no time for me to talk a bit. And we try to speak Ukrainian. This is our position of principle. And this is one of our top priority task, in addition to what we take care of providing the camouflage uniforms. We try to work further on and to go in depth, to work with our children and grandchildren. Not only speak Ukrainian, speak very good Ukrainian language, exquisite language. We also have Alexander Zakharchenko from Toretsk, the head organization. Good afternoon to you. I'm really happy that we are organized this movement in our city, which is badly required here. As Sashko Lirnyk said, that the majority of our people Alexander, I'm sorry, those who already had was on the air, please do not say anything because it's a very poor connection with Alexander. Our miners town started with a Cossack outpost, the Reds, just for your information. Generally speaking, what we await from this kind of the campaigning train, we wish this train for them to understand and to spread the information that the town of Torets is a Ukrainian town. So we would like to have some kind of small, maybe concert or performance or some master class associated with some Easter topics, because this is something which we start to deal with today. Honestly speaking, we do not have enough people. There is a huge work to be done. We have some volunteers. We also are active of Gorlivka, of Zaitsevo, Verkhny Toretsk. But anyway, your assistance would be very much required and reasonable. Thank you, Alexander. Please stay put. And also, I would like to give the floor to Anatoly Vashigora, Director of the Center of the Extreme Medical Aid and the Catastrophe Medicine of the city of Kiev. I would like to thank the organizers that out of all the let's say the medical institutions, you selected our service, which is going to accompany or be on the board of this train and provide, if necessary, first medical aid. Also, we're going to offer the master classes in providing the first medical aid to children and to adults. We have some experience in that already. Most important, we would like to teach children how to offer to be involved in self aid and mutual aid. We are going to take some of the dummies with us in order to use for this kind of demonstration. And this kind of the warfare time is not very good, because sometimes children find something which they should not even touch. I remember from my childhood when children were injured by what was left of the military equipment still of the World War II. So we have to prevent somehow this. I believe that this kind of specific program will be included in the program of this outreach or companion trade. Thank you very much. Are there any questions or clarifications from journalists? Please introduce yourselves.
Sergei Kotnyakov, head of press service, Family 100 memory. To Mykola, where can we get information about the schedule and the route of this train? What are the cities, the towns of Donetsk and Lugansk, and what is the time? And the second question to Yaroslav. Our fund is involved in some cultural and educational programs. And it would be interesting to us to cooperate with you in transport component, because those groups, musical groups, and different trainers of master classes we need to provide more help to Donetsk and Lugansk. Maybe they can be transported in some railway cars, and I think we are ready for cooperation. We will have good work together. And about the St. Mary Festival in Mariupol is open for you. The information on the train, you can find this information on Facebook, and there all information is provided. But I would like to add the organization how many 100 relatives and supporters, they are involved in the project. And there are representatives here, the representatives of general staff, volunteers, and also Anna Maybrada, also a patriotic organization, and the medical area. These are people who were in these towns, and people know them, and they provide some education and training how to save the life of people, both to civilians and servicemen. I would like to briefly add on this. It is understandable that, firstly, there is coordination of actions among the head of the train. Then the second stage, I propose the same type of work. We were addressed by the volunteers on the issues of this train, and the information is provided in what areas the help is needed. Then we will have a round table at the platform of Transport Committee, and then we will work out the plan and whom we need to involve in this action in order to coordinate our actions in the work that is connected to the outreach and in the east of Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you, dear colleagues. Do you have other questions or comments? Anna Maybrada, all-Ukrainian formation called Patriot, but I'm not only volunteer. We also think alike, and we support our colleagues in their decision. And I hope that this is not a pilot project, but that would be the start of the broader project, that the trains will go to different parts of our state in order to exchange information. And also it is the moment of it is a moment to unite our nation. I also represent a council of volunteers, and we want to join this project in many directions. But this train is not so big, and we ask everyone to join, and we should implement what was planned, and then we have the wish to help people to realize the bigger mission, and they should be united by this idea. Thank you. Maybe some comment from you. Yes, we thought about it. So these are people we now watch on Skype, and they have ideas to share, and maybe they can teach us about many things. And if they want, they have many interesting people there, and adults and kids, and we should communicate and get united. And we thank these people. They are in difficult situation, and we, by our train, we will try to support these people. We end our press briefing, and we thank all the friends that were on Skype, and thank you very much. Goodbye. Dear colleagues, our press briefing is at 2 p.m.